No hook today, people. My name is Dorian, and this is SEM Comics, and we are covering the conclusion of the Mister Sinister series with Mister Sinister Dominion #1. The book opens up with Ghost Rider Galactus right outside the war farm, and you got Myra talking to Sinister, asking him, "Is this what you wanted?" He goes, "No, Myra, this is hell. And even if it is by my own making, it still makes it no less than a hell." And then he goes, "Speaking of hell, where in the hell are you at, woman?" So she goes, "Outside the vault, where they keep in your lab. But don't panic." You know he's panicking. Hell, considering the circumstances, I'll be panicking too. You would too. She's like, "I can't get into the lab yet. The rock guys got a seal, and they're not letting anybody in." She goes, "Hell, I don't think they could get in even if they wanted to." "But what's up with Ironfire? Did you get him to change his mind?" He goes, "I changed Ironfire's mind by pushing it out of his skull." You know, I almost forgot that son of a bitch did that. Please let me know in the comments. Did that piss you off? Or is it just business as usual because it's Mister Sinister? Again, please let me know in the comments. Sinister is like, "I could make my way into the lab if we had more time," which we don't. And then even though Emma's fashionably dead, you know he's excited about that. But Dr. McCoy is probably going to be making a play here soon. I like how he called him doctor. A lot of people forget that Beast is a doctor. So now he's just racking his brain because Destiny said that she arranged a way to get into the lab, but he's wondering how the hell that's going to happen. And then all of a sudden Myra's like, the Marauder has picked up on something small coming this way at a fast rate of speed. So then he remembers how they fired the Juggernaut via railgun into Thanos' head. So he remembers that they got Thanos' exact location via precog, but he didn't know who. It was a blind lead. And he's like, "Blind. Destiny." And he goes, "Maybe we should work together." That goes to show that even the devil can have second thoughts. And then we get to see the events that happen in Nightcrawlers #3. How Kane Marco goes through Galactus Ghost Rider, through the World Farm, but more importantly, through Sinister's lab. So then Myra is like, "That did it. We're in." And Sinister's like, "What? No, Myra, not yet. Wait, I got plans to upload." And Myra's like, "Somebody got to reset this timeline." And Sinister's like, "Don't you dare." And that, ladies and gentlemen, is panic. But he doesn't have time to panic because his huge kunai on chains comes and spears the hell out of him, because my boy Ironfire is alive. Guy, he's becoming one of my favorite characters. So Sinister's like, "I shot you. How?" And Ironfire is like, "I could turn my blood into metal. Before every battle like this one, I give my blood a little coating. My blood's useful. Your blood, all it does is keep you alive, and that has no use at all." And even though Ironfire is choking the hell out of him, the only thing he's worried about is Myra getting into that lab, and he is screaming her name. So Sinister's like, "Stop, don't do it. I need to upload my data, my plans. And Ironfire is like, "Any plans you had besides dying is over." So while all that craziness is going on, we see that Dr. McCoy, like Sinister said, is on his way. And he is surrounded by clones of the Stepper Cuckoos and Namor. And he comes to the conclusion that he's going to probably need some help to be able to get to the Myra engine. So he decides to talk to somebody he knows he shouldn't be talking to. And one of the Stepper Cuckoos even says, like, "This is a huge risk." And he goes, "Look, I'm the clever one. You're the clone help." As soon as I read that part, I thought to myself, he's about to die very soon. And he decides to talk to Charles Xavier himself. Now, Beast feels like because Charles taught him how to put up mental blocks and protect himself from other psychics, that it will work on him. This was a classic case of that I taught you everything that you know, but I didn't teach you everything that I know. Once Charles reads his mind, he's like, "Oh no, I gotta be present for this." So he astral projects himself through Beast, and while he's doing that, I guess he just decided to shut down his mind, so Beast is gone. He pretty much does the same thing to the Stepper Cuckoos, and now Charles Xavier is on his way. And not only is he on his way, but this big Ego the Living Planet size version of himself is also on his way. And they waste no time. They're already hitting the world farm with psychic waves. Now, I'm not gonna lie, what comes up next is a cool ass moment. So Ironfire's like, "Our defenses are down, our psychics are dead, we're in trouble." And Sinister's like, "I have my own defenses." you're in trouble. And he's like, I did have this Omega level psychic that could have helped you, but she's dead now. Talking about Rasputin 4. So the Iron Fire cuts open his head. And Sinister is like, what are you doing, man? And Iron Fire is like, have you been paying attention? I can transform my blood into metal, any metal, and I lead a Brotherhood, so I should look the part. And we see he transformed it into Magneto's helmet. And Sinister's like, Magneto's old trick. Lifted from the Juggernaut, of course, but a good trick. Oh, you are very interesting. I wish we had more time to get acquainted. And Ironfire is like, agree to disagree. And he's about to kill him right on the spot. And Siren's like, no, don't kill me. You need to stop Xavier and I can help. So the Ironfire is like, what are you saying? And Siren's like, look, Magneto's fine trick is one thing, but you need more power. You cannot fight him as you are. And I can make you more powerful. And he shows he has a vial of Bobby Drake's blood. He's like, blood is 90% water. This will give you all you need. I see you thinking. You think you'd be quick enough to take this from me and smart enough to activate it yourself? And if you let me go, I'll run off to try to restart the universe? And you're right, but I can be stopped by someone. I'm just one man. Charles cannot. If Charles gets his hands on the Myra engines, yes, the universe will keep existing, but it'll be his universe. If you don't stop him, we will all be stuck here, trapped in his sick dream. Ironfire's like, damn it. So the Ironfire lets him inject him, and he goes, you should know, I'm going to kill you. And he goes off to fight Xavier, the living planet, I guess you can call him. And he's like, hold on, I know that helmet. Are you? And he's like, Eric. And Ironfire's like, nah, but you should know. He was right. So while the two behemoths are fighting outside the World Farm, Sinister is making his way to his lab carrying his Doombot handgun, which is also a handgun, which should make that a double entendre, right? If not, I'm pretty sure somebody in the comments is going to correct me, very sarcastically. So Sinister goes, kill me? Join the queue. Everybody's going to die today. So he's looking around and he sees all these skulls and he's like, somebody got an early start. We're early because these things are old. He's pretty much seeing all the Nightcrawlers that sacrifice themselves for Mother Righteous and the Spark. And then he's like, oh, my lab, my beautiful lab. He sees Myra at the entry. He's like, no, Myra. And he just starts busting shots at her, talking about, get away from my Myras. And she's like, my Myras? She's like, you turned me into a machine. And Sarah's like, have you seen yourself? You turn yourself into a machine. He might be an a-hole, but he does have a point. So the Sinister's like, what happened here? Why is Mother Rice bleeding all over my nice clean floor? So Myra's like, she had a scheme, she broke in, but her stooges turned on her. She had a plan, but it went wrong. And Sinister's like, oh, that's nice. She was so smug. Pot, meat, kettle. So Myra's like, she has a plan that goes wrong, she has a heart in her forehead, and she's smug. She reminds me of somebody. And Sinister's like, yeah, whatever. Now let me do my upload. So of course Myra's like, hell no. And she starts busting at him. Sinister's like, let me upload my files, woman. Then we can do the reset. She's like, no, you're not learning from this. You turning me into a glorified hard drive. And Sinister's like, to be glorified by definition is to be glorious. Now I can't be the only person that Kieron Gillen just put on game when it comes to this whole glorified thing. Cause I've been using it wrong for a long time. Let me know in the comments if you're the same way. So Sinister starts laying out the scenario to Myra. He's like, Ironfire is fighting Xavier right now, and even though I amplified him greatly, he's still no match for Xavier, and he probably lost to him as we speak, which he's right. He also lets her know that now probably the Neymars are on their way to the lab, and we pretty much cannot defeat them at all, which, again, he's right. And he's like, you might not like this, but I'm your least worst option. And she's just like, you're going to pay for this. As soon as we get home, your best option is to dismantle this monstrosity you have. And then she starts busting at the Neymars. So while all this is going on, he's sitting there literally contemplating on the things that went wrong and so on and so forth, and how he can do better, and then maybe he'll become a god. And Myra's like, become a god? What are you doing? Hurry up! So if you're keeping up with this series, back in Immortal X-Men #1, he specified how he implanted a kill switch in all the different Sinister clones. And now that he's in the lab, he can activate that kill switch. And he's telling Myra, I can go ahead and then do this, and then we can use it as fuel. Then we can go ahead and we can wipe out the reality. So he does it, and on the next page, all you see is all the different Sinisters all around the universe. The billions of them, probably more than billions, are all now starting to burn up and die. You see that Nightcrawler Kenny might be protected because she's surrounded by blue fire instead of the normal fire. And if it is, then that's her baby protecting her. So as you can see, as Sinister does, he lied again. And when he hit the kill switch on all different Sinisters, he absorbed, all their either power or essence into him. And now he has all the power he needs to become a Dominion. And as he's glowing red and he's ascending up, he says, "I've escaped everything, even the need to tell jokes. You are the joke." I hope not, because the only reason why I like Sinister even a little bit is because of the jokes. So as he's rising up and he's feeling himself, and oh Lord, he is feeling himself, he bumps into something. And he's like, "What is this?" And he's like, "It's a Dominion, and it's already here." And they're like, "Yeah, I am here, and I have all the knowledge in the world, or in the universe, I should say, and I can share it with you. I'll just share this one fact. I'm not you." So he falls back down to his lab, and he's extremely humbled. He's like, "I lost. I can't believe I lost." And the Ironfire is like, "You've killed the galaxy." And he's like, "You don't understand. One of them beat me to it. Stasis, Stellaris, Mother Righteous, one of them becomes a Dominion, and not me." And Ironfire is like, "I'm gonna take care of you." And Sinner's like, "It doesn't even matter. Kill me, kill them, kill her. Nothing matters." So Ironfire is like, "You're wrong. Death always matters." And he cuts off Sinister's head. And Ironfire is like, 1,000 years and he's learned nothing. And Myra's like, "He's learned something. He's learned that he is nothing. Let's hope he remembers that." And she shoots one of the Myras. So on the next page, we see the results of Myra 7. Took 1,000 years, and there were 8 quadrillion deaths. You think I'm smart, right? Wrong. My daughter knew that place value. I did not. I had to look it up. So now we are right back at the scene of the crime. Literally, the scene of the crime where Sinister just got finished taking out 4 of the Quiet Council. You know which 4 they are. And he's trying to figure out a save point for this. And he's like, "I'm not going back to Judgment Day." So we find out that this is the save point. And then all of a sudden, there's an upload. And he's like, "Oh, let's look at this file. Oh, it's extremely large. 1,000 years, unusually large. Let's see what we got downloaded." And then there's this huge explosion, and all you hear is, "Hello, Sinister. Let me tell you a story." And he goes, "Myra?" So then Myra starts explaining how she showed up right when Mother Righteous was being betrayed by Nightcrawler, and how she had this mystical item that turns out to be a mystical virus that she was going to use to upload a virus to erase the timeline, but also save what information she needed to the next timeline. Well, Mother Righteous was preparing a particular soul, which was Nightcrawler's baby, to be the sacrifice, because all the Nightkin were sacrificing themselves in the name of the Spark. But they was also sacrificing themselves in the name of Mother Righteous. So Mother Righteous soul will work just as well, and that's what Myra did. She sacrificed Mother Righteous into the heart so that she can activate it. Now she also wanted to let him know that he made an attempt to ascend to Dominionhood, and he had the apple. Unfortunately, he found out that somebody had the orchard, and it wasn't him. And then she goes, "This is my story. Your story's over." So if you think it can't get any worse for Sinister, Myra's like, "Hold my beer." So then there's another explosion, and the Sinister's like, "Wait, reality's still here." And he goes to his computer and he's like, "My Sinister gene, it's being neutralized before they're even killed." And he's like, "That's what the virus did." And he's like, "Where are my files? They're being uploaded. where are they going? And then all you hear is RP4 Growth Cycle has begun. And he goes, RP4? That's not one of mine. And he goes, what in the damnation? I mean, this man's so frustrated, he went all the way back to the 1890s. And then she comes out and she has all of her memories of what happened in that timeline. She goes, I am Rasputin 4, captain of the fleet, and you, Nathaniel Exodus, are wanted for the murder of all mutant kind. And then we show Mother Righteous. She's just chilling in her place. And all of a sudden she notices that there's been an addition. And then there's this huge wing that's been added to her library, which is all the information from that timeline. And she goes, oh, Christmas has come early. Who do I get to thank? And then she goes, thank you, Mother Righteous. So the heart worked. So now we're at the point where you got the rest of the Quiet Council is trying to gather up the X-Men and X-Force to hunt after Sinister. And then Destiny grabs her chest and Mystique's like, what's wrong? And Destiny's like, the future. There's more of it. So all of a sudden this portal's open up and it's Rasputin 4 with Sinister in tow. And she's like, Krakoa, it's real. And then her and Kitty, which you know, back at that timeline, she really didn't like Kitty. But this Kitty, they hit it off really well. And then Rasputin 4 is like, this dude need to pay for his crimes. And Kitty's like, I think we can handle that for you. So now we're at the Quiet Council's headquarters and Sinister is just pleading. He's like, look, I know you're supposed to send me to the pits, but that will be a mistake. He says, you don't understand. You're making a mistake. I don't matter. I'm not a threat. I'm not the one you need to be afraid of. It's the other Sinisters, not me. I'm nothing. As the vines are wrapping around him, he goes, I failed. One of them succeeds. There is a sinister dominion out there, outside of time and space, a stain on existence. It's already there. They already won. Oh God, it's too late. And he goes, Irene, you have to stop them. It's up to you, Irene. It's down to you now. But it's already happened. So it's too late. You have to find a way anyway. Please, Irene. On the same side, remember? I know you understand. Only you understand. Don't do this. I'm not even a crumb between the teeth of God. I'm nothing. And then Krakoa swallows him up. And as much as Emma hates him, first thing she says is, did his panic seem particularly convincing? So then they go to Rasputin 4. So who do we get to thank for all this? And then she introduces Mother Righteous. And then she goes, oh, my little ducks. It's all news to me too. Yes and no. So she lets him know everything that happened in that timeline, because we know that she just recently got that information. She must be a really fast reader. So they ask her to leave as they discuss some things, which she does. So she comes back, and based on her story, they decide to put Xavier, Emma, Hope, and Exodus into the pit. Now we know based on what Mister Sinister said that they don't have the Sinister gene anymore, and I think Mother Righteous knows that too. Just decided to conveniently leave that out. So now that 4 of the most powerful mutants that Krakoa has are now in the pit, where do you think this goes from here? Now we all know there's going to be a fall of X. Is this one of the contributing factors? And also, who do you think achieved the Dominion status? Is it one of the Sinisters? Me personally, I don't think it's any of the Sinister. I think it's Myra, because like she said, it's her story now.